Donk Nation, Jackson, Janet's greetings, and welcome to the Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some Steelers talk after a bye week that Laskers Gingy could not have been more successful for the Pittsburgh Steelers than it was. I mean, teams we need to lose, some things breaking our way when maybe you want to talk about the 1 seed in the future. Man, this was a heck of a time for no football that really mattered to us, huh, Gingy?
You're Gingy in the house. How about it? Not playing, moving up, donkey. That's all right.
Yeah.
Getting healthy, getting rested, getting ready for a big division rivalry game.
Fair. Laskers, bye week. Any fun thoughts from you?
Well, I mean, it was probably the best bye week we could have had and asked for. Other than that, no, I don't have too much, but hey, at least we're moving up.
Laskers, I have an honest big question for you because you live close enough where I think these two teams matter a lot to people. Was the Penn State whiteout loss to Oregon or the Buffalo whiteout loss to New England the bigger devastation of the fan base in your area?
I'm actually going to say probably the Buffalo loss. And the whole reason is I don't follow college football, so I don't really listen to anyone when they talk about college football. Now, I know there were a lot of people that were upset about it, but I really think the Buffalo loss was a bigger one.
The whiteout loss has me laughing a little bit. And that New England team, they're giving Buffalo a little run there. That's good for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's flip the script. Let's go another way. Jacksonville Jaguars going out there and beating Kansas City Chiefs Monday Night Football, even with two terribly controversial calls that gave 14 points to the Chiefs, still couldn't get the win there. Does that bode well for the Steelers if we can stay in this 1 seed position, Gingy, that the Chiefs are still struggling? Or are you now nervous that maybe there's two looming juggernauts in the AFC South between those Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts?
We'll have to see. Jacksonville is streaky, right? It's not that they're not good.
They're explosive. They're like the Steelers right now.
Always been. I mean, for as long as I can remember, last 3 or 4 years, Jacksonville been very streaky. They can look like this at times. We'll check back with them at Thanksgiving.
Gingy, 14 turnovers they forced in 5 weeks. That's
nuts. The only team that's forced more turnovers than the Steelers.
Exactly. They're playing like the Steelers now, albeit they're not elite in the red zone, but they have big plays on offense. They're elite at big plays on offense, and their defense has been turning people over. Oh, man. Maybe those Duval guys are getting ready to chant again, but Danny Dimes, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL through a quarter of the season. Laskers, tell me that wasn't on the surprise list.
Well, that's definitely on the surprise list. I mean, he looked good. He looked real good.
Outside of their one loss, he has looked fantastic. That one loss, he looked like New York Giants Danny Dimes. Let's keep it rolling here. Did you guys see the hysterical way the Arizona Cardinals give Tennessee their first loss? I mean, a kid fumbling the ball at the 1-inch line because he's just showboating and not paying attention. And on top of that, later in the game, an interception in the red zone. The Cardinals guy falls over, fumbles it, goes into the end zone, recovered by the Titans for a touchdown. Gingy, there was a whole blooper reel, and it was just that football game.
How do those plays continue to happen? With these folks dropping the ball with the 1.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. If y'all want good football, someone explained to me how 2 years ago, or was it 3 years ago, Carolina had both Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield on their roster and chose to keep neither of them. So let's not just throw quarterbacks under the bus here and say they all suck. Clearly, there are quarterbacks who can transcend systems. But look at the quarterbacks who've had great showings when they get a system that works with them, or look terrible when they don't. You have Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith leading the NFL in interceptions this year, but 2 years ago was like the hottest rising star in Seattle. Maybe we need to start talking quarterback fit. But if you watch that Seattle-Tampa Bay game back and forth, and Baker Mayfield for the fourth time this year in the final 2 minutes leads a game-winning drive for the 4-1 Buccaneers. Oh, Gingy, that game, crazy, great quarterbacking. No one could stop anyone in the second half. I watched the whole thing. It was fun. But you have to kind of feel bad for Carolina when you realize they had both of those guys not that long ago.
Not interested in Carolina and their quarterback situation down there. Are you serious?
I'm serious that they let them both go. And I mean, man, as a Panthers fan, and since we had to talk about a little something before this week, that was one of the things that stuck out in my head was, man, that's.
Well, thinking about how the
just gotta
team we're
kick it.
playing this week is in a massive quarterback fumble rooski right now, and they also had this dude on their team.
Yeah,
This dude won a
up,
playoff in our building.
giving up the quarterback who beats your rivals in the playoffs to get Massage Watson. I mean, curse of the Bambino, but then you would actually have had to be good for it to be a curse. So we can just call it Cleveland being Cleveland, I guess. Is that
Well,
fair,
I mean,
Laskers?
Oh,
in a playoff
definitely.
game.
Definitely Cleveland being Cleveland.
And there's one last thing, Laskers, I want to talk about. The Jets fire their defensive coach because they want to focus more on developing a quarterback, then hire another defensive coach, and they start this season off 0-5 and no takeaways. That is the first time in NFL history any team has ever started 0-5 and not had a single takeaway. That's with a defensive-minded head coach. What the hell is going on in the Jets land?
The Jets are bad. The Jets are real bad. That's about all I can say. I got nothing else to say about the Jets.
That's fair. Absolutely fair. And one more nugget I want to put out there. Penn State, I have to actually thank you because you did something I've never seen done in my lifetime, which is a top 10 AP ranked football team losing to a team that's 0-4 and worse. And mind you, that UCLA team who beat Penn State the whole game, they didn't have a lead the whole year up till then. Gingy, you're kind of in the heart of where that matters. Yo, the calls for James Franklin's head's getting kind of crazy down there.
Yeah, I don't know, Donkey, about that college football stuff with Penn State. Like, how does that work from week to week? I guess what was it? The guy just weren't ready to play, out coached, outplayed. Like
The common denominator here is they had just lost to Oregon during a whiteout the week prior. And everybody's just saying that James Franklin was getting sick of hearing how he can't win the big games. So he wanted to lose a really bad game to prove he can also lose games that don't matter. Okay? That's all he was trying to do. He's trying to loosen the pressure on himself by losing to a team who doesn't matter.
I see.
I like to call it pulling a Pittsburgh Steelers, lose to the Browns and then beat 3 playoff teams, make the playoffs and get stomped, and no one will call for your head, okay? He sees how it's done in the state. But outside of that, that's where my bye week shenanigans ends. There were a couple trades that we'll talk about. I guess we should mention, 2 of the 3 trades I want to talk about involve the team we're playing, so we'll get into that during the game. But I don't know if you guys saw the Ravens, who are missing like 6 starters on defense, decided to trade Odafe Oweh, the outside linebacking pass rusher, to the Chargers to get a safety because their whole secondary is a mess. Anything you guys want to say about the Ravens injury situation or trade or any other football stories before we start talking? The Steelers back in action with Cleveland with a 1.5 lead in the division right now. Is that what it's at?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. With the Ravens, if they get healthy too late, it might not matter. But if they get healthy, by Halloween? Holy shamoly, watch out.
It might be
We
at
got to
the
play
point
them twice.
with the first place schedule, Gingy. It might already be to the point where it's too late.
It's possible. Like I said, if they're not healthy by the end of October and they go 0-3 over the next week or 3 weeks, yeah, that's irrecoverable. Donkey.
They lose this week with Cooper Rush. It might just already be irrecoverable when you consider the teams they have left to play. That's a stacked schedule being a first-place team, and you can't really afford a slip-up. And let's be honest here, even when the Ravens were healthy last year before this trade, their defense wasn't performing. They were really lacking. You could see it out there. Pass rush wasn't getting home. They were getting run on, which tends to happen when you lose that 360-pound man in the middle. I mean, the injuries, the offense not performing the way it is with Derrick Henry's not, I'll call it struggles because he's been fumbling way too much for it to not be called struggles. This, up to the bye week, through a quarter of the season, this could not have broke much better for the Steelers, right? I mean, of course, the loss in there is not good, but is what it is.
It definitely couldn't have broke any better for the Steelers. I mean, the Ravens have looked like, dog poop.
Their defense looks like the Bengals' defense last year.
They definitely have been struggling. I mean, and it's the best thing that can happen for the Steelers to potentially make the playoffs and actually win a playoff game, which we all want to see.
Yes, that'd be nice hosting one. Maybe even getting a bye week so we can make it to the second round is not a thing that's out of the question if the momentum from the first quarter of the season continues. Let's not get there and let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Any closing thoughts on the bye week before we talk about Browns week?
AFC is up in the air. Juggernauts are losing, but we've got some dark horses in the AFC South, right? I do not know how much longevity this whole Danny Dimes experiment has, but Colts are looking pretty good right now.
Yep, Colts, Jaguars, both those teams. Solid wins already for both of them, which I think is one of the big statements you need to make if you're going to be a team to take the next step. Also, maybe the Patriots come in as a dark horse. I mean, when you consider they played the Steelers so close, turnovers really affected that game for them, and they go to Buffalo and beat Buffalo. You also have the Broncos, who are one mistimed jump away from being 4-1. There are some teams that are looking like they're ready to challenge the known guard, and right now, let's be honest, 2 of the 3 of the known guard, or Laskers, have losing records in the Chiefs and the Ravens. The only one of the known guard that's doing what they're supposed to do is the Buffalo Bills. Do you think this, let's call it a youth push because all these teams are led by younger guys. Do you think this youth push is actually going to stand out for the whole season in the AFC?
No, I don't think so. I think there's just too much veteran presence that you just can't hold up with the youth.
Aaron Rodgers has played more games than all them young whippersnapper quarterbacks combined. That's Lasker's argument, right, Gingy?
That's what I'm hearing. But we shall see. It's a game. It's a marathon. You know, it's a game of endurance.
Definitely not a sprint.
I always
see who stays healthy at the end of the season, right?
I always love the saying, you cannot win the season in the first quarter, but you certainly can lose it. And to me, the team that falls to is the Baltimore Ravens. They're on the verge of losing it in the first quarter.
They are.
But now, let's move on. Let's get to Cleveland week for the Steelers. Of course, this is at Acrisure Stadium. The Steelers all-time 82-64-1 against the Browns. That's 52-22 at home. The largest win was by Cleveland, 51-0 in 1989. Pittsburgh's win was 43-0 in 1999. Longest streak, the Steelers won 12 straight from 03 to 09. Ironically, the last time Cleveland won in Pittsburgh, 2003. And Cleveland's longest streak was 8 from 1950 to 53. Current streak, the Steelers won the last one, which was December 8th of last year, 27-14 at home. Some crazy trades going on in this one. But come on. This has to be easy, right? Browns are starting a rookie quarterback in the second game in Dylan Gabriel. They just traded their backup quarterback, Joe Flacco, to the Bengals, who's going to start this week because, well, the Bengals don't have any other option. They just traded their best corner, Newsome, to Jacksonville for, oh man, I can't think of what the kid's name is, but also a good player. It's like a one-for-one swap of really good corners. But that means that guy's not going to know the system when he gets here. things have to look good for the Steelers. You consider the last time we lost to Cleveland on the regular season, that is, was 2003. Of course, we lost a stupid playoff game. Let's not talk about that. This week just has to be Steelers dominant. Hey, Laskers. Maybe. Right, Benji?
Heck yeah, it's got to be Steelers. This is one of those games, though. Donkey, are the Steelers going to play down?
Yes, it definitely
opponent.
Definitely has to be.
Now, Mike Tomlin, let's add to this. Let's add to this another layer of fun stuff. Cleveland, coming off an international game, has to be a little more jet lagged than the Steelers. Steelers, coming off a bye week, have to be more rested than the Browns. Mike Tomlin, 14-4 coming off the bye week. This is prototypical built for the Pittsburgh Steelers to dominate the Cleveland Browns. But I'm going to be honest with you, Gingy. There is one man in this whole equation that makes me a little nervous. And that, of course, is Myles Garrett. I think it's fair to say he could single-handedly disrupt this football game and make it painful for Pittsburgh.
Very true. Got to find a way to shut him down. Got to scheme to do that, I think, Donkey.
You have to. Darnell Washington essentially needs to play the whole goddamn game as pseudo left tackle. That's what I think. Laskers, what are you thinking here? You thinking the Browns have any hope whatsoever? And if so, where does it come from?
Their only hope is to, see what the quarterback can do. I mean, that's their only hope. If he can actually figure out how to play, that's their hope.
If you watch the international game, he played really well. No turnovers. Good first game against the Vikings out there. It wasn't really his fault they lost, but not much to go there. They do have a decent running attack out there. I mean, Kashad Jenkins is an absolute monster so far in his NFL career. There are some pieces there in Cleveland. They're getting a little healthier. I believe Jack Conklin's coming back. Their offensive line's getting a little healthier. But Gingy, Steelers, rookie quarterbacks, there should be lots of splash to be had, right?
Absolutely. Big time pressure. Pressure up middle. Pressure off the edge. Tipped balls. Disruption of timing. Easy peasy, right?
That's what I would like to say, and that's what I'd like to hear. But
easy peasy lemon squeezy.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
Should be a continuation, really, of what we saw in Ireland.
I certainly hope you are right on that. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit here. Defensively, the Browns have, and this is going to sound weird, but they have a linebacker core that's played pretty solid this year. The rookie Schwessensinger, he's played pretty damn good. Old Steeler man Devin Bush out there looking like a really solid linebacker this season for the Browns. Hard to believe, but he's leading them in tackles out there. Of course, you got Myles Garrett. He's an absolute monster you have to account for out there. Collins is getting some sacks. You go to the secondary. Delpit's a guy who's made a lot of plays in his past. Denzel Ward's the one they traded, not Newsome. So Newsome's still there. They got Harden there. I mean, you look at the Browns' whole team, and it doesn't feel like a team that should be as bad as they are, but it's just they've had so much weakness. Specifically, the middle of their defensive line has been really bad. Their coverage has been very boom or bust and giving up big plays from time to time. This defense is a defense that should be exploited. The Steelers seem to run the ball really well last week. Is this a type of thing Jaylen Warren gets back and we try to limit him and maybe that's for the good of the Steelers? Or what are you really expecting here when you see the Browns on defense against our offense here, Laskers? I guess what I'm saying.
I'm hoping for a good Jaylen Warren game. I mean, that's a big, big hope. I just don't see it happening. I mean, it would be great if it happened, but I still think he's just not ready.
Kenneth Gainwell had a pretty good game. Maybe he gets the carries going. Maybe we finally get over that 100-yard mark because I believe Gainwell was only in the 90s last time we played. Maybe a veteran quarterback can exploit some things in the middle here. Maybe the crowd will, just make it hard on the Browns the whole game. Gingy, do you see the Steelers taking advantage of the Browns defense? And if so, where and what matchups are you really looking forward to?
Really going to have to see the fellas up front in the trenches. That's what won us the game in Ireland, and that's what's going to win us the game this week. If we can somehow nullify a strong pass rush from Myles Garrett, either by scheming around them, short passing game, screen game, get something consistent established so that we can open up the run, just really see the guys up front in the trenches dominate. That's what we're looking for.
99 yards against the Vikings, just so you know.
Of course, it was I thought he was just short. Yep, that sounds right. Laskers, closing thought here before we move on to talk about the Steelers' defense. We look out there, we look at the Browns, the pass rush is going to be there. We have struggles there. But the Steelers have been ridiculously efficient both in running the ball and passing the ball when Darnell Washington is on the field. We talked last week, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, we talked about the Pat Freiermuth not getting very many snaps. Is this a week again where Darnell Washington not only should, but needs to out-snap Pat Freiermuth? Should Darnell Washington, Jonnu Smith be the go-to pairing and see if we can continue the success that it had against Minnesota this week against the Browns?
Yes, it 100% should be. We have to stop Myles Garrett. I mean, we have to, and he is coming with a fierce passion to sack Aaron Rodgers. So I mean, we have to.
Yeah, Myles Garrett
shouldn't even see the field.
Myles Garrett absolutely hates the Steelers. I agree with that, but that's only because that special team snap 2 weeks ago still really irks me. Let's flip the ball. Let's go over. Let's see. What do the Steelers defense need to do against the Browns, who I believe they're missing like their top 3 offensive tackles again because for some reason those guys always get hurt. They're getting Conklin back. I believe he's going to play on the inside. We should have, though, a plethora of people back. Joey Porter Jr. is coming back this week. Alex Highsmith's back this week. Gingy, where I want to start with you is the way Herbig has been performing on the outside as pass rusher. He needs to get more snaps than Highsmith at this point right now, right? Like, he needs to be the primary opposite TJ Watt guy the way he's been playing.
He's been making disruptions every time he's in there, Donkey. Splash plays. Knocking the ball loose, getting after the ball, getting after the quarterback. I still like him as a hybrid though with Highsmith over there. Keeps them both fresh all game, and we all know out here that the defense is playing way too often. So however much depth we can get there is great. Good problem to have.
Without a doubt, it is a great problem to have. And last time we saw the Steelers out there, we saw the interior actually play well. We saw Keanu Benton, Derek Harmon, why the heck am I forgetting Cam Hayward's name, really slow down a running game that had been successful. It seems like point 1 this week has to be slowing down that running game that the Browns have had this year and slowing down Quishon Judkins, who's averaging about 5 yards a carry and about 90 a game right now, Laskers. This is a big game for the interior to play well, those front 3. And it seems like the type of game where we're going to want to see a lot of the linebacker duo of Queen and Cole Holcomb, at least on early downs, right?
I mean, the biggest thing is we got to stop the running game. I mean, if you don't stop the running game, we're going to lose.
Yeah, it'll probably lead to Gabriel having time. That's something you don't really want to see. I mean, the rookie, he completed, 60% of his passes, but 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Only took a couple sacks. Need to see that number a little higher. Gingy, the Steelers are in a really weird spot where it seems to be rotating personnel. really makes a difference here. Of course, Deshaun Elliott seems to be the absolute glue that holds this defense together. When he plays, this unit is so much better. Joey Porter Jr. coming back this week. Do you think Porter Jr. is going to shadow Jerry Jeudy the whole game? And if so, do you think the Steelers then have to just focus the defense on being able to stop what has been a two-headed tight end monster for the Cleveland Browns?
It'd be really great if he could, right, Donkey? I mean,
Yeah,
if he
it
could,
would.
if he could handle and if he could take that assignment, it really would open us up on defense, maybe to do some different things there that are going to be necessary to counteract the way that Cleveland plays football.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Browns, it's really one big receiver there in Jerry Jeudy. I mean, of course, Bond, Tillman, they're Steeler number 2 wide receivers. I think everyone can understand what I mean by that. They're just guys. But the thing that Cleveland has going for it, Laskers, and the spot that makes me really concerned, because Cole Holcomb, definitely better at the run stopping. Peyton Wilson, definitely their best coverage linebacker. Patrick Queen, the guy who's kind of, I don't know, a good blitzer, but not really a great run stuffer or a great pass protector. But he's the guy that they use as the glue guy, I guess. What concerns me here is Cleveland running 2 tight end sets means 2 of their top 3 receivers are on the field, as both David Njoku and Harold Fannin, they're number 2 and number 3 in the Browns in receiving yards. Tight ends tend to tear up the Steelers. This is a game that middle needs to be solid. Really, Deshaun Elliott needs to show out. Whoever's playing the coverage backer, Peyton Wilson, Patrick Queen, really need to have a good game to keep those Browns in there, keep them bottled up, and not let Dylan Gabriel have these easy throws to these big 6'6" targets, right?
Oh, I 100% agree. The Browns have such good tight end core that it scares me. I mean, they are good at tight end, and we can't stop a tight end. We haven't been able to stop a tight end in 10 years.
That's true. Speedy receivers also tend to be a problem. But Gingy, there's a really simple answer to both of these problems, right? And that's the Steelers' high-paid front 7 dominates the line of scrimmage against what is the weak point of the Cleveland Browns. That offensive line, very weak point of the Browns, very much a thing that can be exploited. The easy answer here is don't let them throw it to the tight end. Don't let the running back go in by getting instant pressure up the middle. And dare I say, do something we did against Minnesota that we haven't done much since the Lawrence Timmons days. Start bringing middle linebackers, right?
I like to hear that, Donkey. Bringing back Blitzberg, getting some pressure on the quarterback, just causing chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only making plays, but making them make mistakes.
Yes, that would be great to be seen. We know we have weaknesses. We know we don't have that, but this is the type of game. And to my opinion, this is the type of game that exploits the Steelers' strengths on both sides of the football. When I look at this, and I think we should have an easy edge on special teams. Let's not have any more blocked field goals, and Boswell will be good. Waitman's been really good this year. Even the time I thought he made a mistake, he actually just did exactly what he was coached to do. Coaching might be the one spot where they got us, but really, I don't think Stefanski's a step above Mike Tomlin, so we won't go there. But when we look at this game, the way you beat the Browns is get the ball out quick and don't let the pass rush get home, establish a running game. That's what the Steelers want to do. And in 12 personnel, specifically with Darnell Washington on the field, that's what we've been good at. And on the flip side, the thing that the Browns have struggled most with is the ability to stop pressure. That's what the Steelers are built to be. So when you look at this game, where the Browns are weak is where the Steelers are supposed to be strong. Laskers, there is no reason I should feel nervous, right?
No. I think there is reason to feel nervous. I don't feel very good about this game. I think that it's going to be a closer game than anyone thinks because the Browns always play us well.
And that's pretty much true. And Gingy, is that just because Mike Tomlin believes in this thing called AFC North football where you're just not allowed to try to beat the other team you play? You just wait for them to make a mistake?
Yeah, I don't know. We have opportunities to beat teams, and we've let them slip away. I mean, we've won games, right? Don't get me wrong. When I say beat teams, though, I mean more than a one-score game. And we've had opportunities in that category that we've let slip away. So I really think that would be nice to see with this game, right? Us put a team away early, maybe go up 3 scores in the first half, and just really finish it off. Finish it off early. Dominate the run game in the second half. Dominate time of possession. Play the Steelers game in the second half, right? What they want to do.
Gingy's going like 45-20 is my guess.
That
You're
would be
pretty
fantastic.
close with my guesses.
That would be fantastic. I don't know if we're going to see 40s, but even 28 would put this away. You score a field goal in the second half, and it pretty much puts this game away. So I'd like to see something like that myself, Donkey.
I appreciate it. That's what I'm feeling. I talked about most of the points I wanted to talk about before I get to cash or trash. Anything you two see in this game you want to bring up before we get to some quick hitting cash or trashing?
I need to see Aaron Rodgers stay protected. He not only needs to play this game, but he also needs to play games beyond this game.
Fair.
So we cannot let Myles Garrett do what he wants to do to him.
Yes, and
you know what I'm saying?
And this Laskers falls fully on the Steelers. They have to game plan to Myles Garrett cannot be. I don't care. Myles Garrett needs to be double played on every single play. Double team, double played. Yeah, baseball too much.
I know what you mean.
Double teamed on every single play, right?
Oh, definitely. He needs to be. If we don't do that, then we're just dumb.
Yeah,
At least
someone else needs to beat us other than Myles Garrett. I talked about him at the beginning for that. Laskers, any last thoughts on this game before we get to cash or trash?
No, I got nothing.
All right, let's start on the offense. Let's start about a person I specifically left out because I wanted his presence to be felt and be the main presence of cash or trash. Offense, DK Metcalf. Explosion, showed it last week, is the guy who has it in the Steelers. No Calvin Austin. He's ruled out. Jalen Ramsey ruled out. I guess we should have talked about the injured players. Gingy. The Browns give up big plays. DK Metcalf makes a big play. At least a 40-yard reception and at some point a touchdown in the game. Cash or trash?
Ooh, give me cash on that.
I like it.
Big play. Another big play. Let's stack them up in a row. Let's make this a signature, right? Where we can dominate up front and get a big play from DK. Why can't we have an identity?
We do. Our identities were really good in the red zone on offense and defense for the first time ever. We just got to continue with it. Let's go here, Laskers. Aaron Rodgers plays a clean game. No turnovers. Cash or trash?
I'm going to cash that one in.
I like it too.
Another clean sheet.
Gingy, let's keep it rolling here. The running game almost got it completely going overseas. They're bringing that back to Pittsburgh, and it's time for 150 rushing yards. Cash or trash?
Cash it in. Let's see it. This is the time to shine.
Laskers, let's have some fun here. This is the matchup we talked about ad nauseum during our little breakdown. Myles Garrett, most of the time, is probably going to go up against Broderick Jones because, let's be honest, Broderick Jones has already given up 4 sacks, has 3 penalties, hasn't looked very good. But this is the time the Steelers realize you got to stop that man. And by stop that man, I mean we hold him to 1 or less sacks. Cash or trash?
I'm going to trash that unless we double team him. Then I'll cash it in.
I'm saying even with a double team, we're going to hold him to hopefully just 1. Gingy, let's end the offense here. Let's end it with someone else has to step up in this offense other than DK Metcalf. Scotty Miller's getting a chance. Maybe Roman Wilson gets a chance. Maybe it's Ben Skowronek. I don't care who it is. One of these receivers, clearly not Calvin Austin because he's not playing, one of these receivers other than DK Metcalf is going to break the 50-yard barrier. Cash or trash?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
True. I'd like to see it, but I'm going to say trash.
That's an absolute fair thing to say. Now let's flip it. Let's go defense. Let's start with Laskers. Laskers, TJ Watt hates hearing how Myles Garrett's better than him. This week, TJ Watt outsacks Myles Garrett. Not going to put a number on it. He could have only half a sack, but he will outsack Myles Garrett.
1.5. I'm cashing that one in.
Nice. I like it. Let's keep it rolling here. Gingy, Keshawn Judkins is the way the Browns get offense going. The Steelers shut him down, holding him under 70 yards, but more importantly, under 3.5 yards a carry. Cash or trash?
Let's cash that in. That'd be great to see. Another dominant performance up front. That's what we're going to see if we dominate up front.
I would love to see it. I'd love to see Derek Harmon start moving into that Stephon Tuitt role and then watch us have a dominant front again like we did with Tuitt, Jay Wobble, and, of course, the man who's still there, Cam Hayward. Laskers, let's keep it rolling on that with shutting down what the Browns do well. Neither one of the Browns tight ends will go over 50 yards against the Steelers. Cash or trash?
No, I'm trashing that one.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, Gingy, Dylan Gabriel, rookie, hasn't thrown an interception yet. He's due for at least 2 against the Steelers, right? Cash or trash that?
Cash it in. Splash.
Yeah, let's go. And let's end it. Laskers on the defense. One real thing we haven't seen yet, and I know it's not defense, so it's kind of a cheat here, but there's going to be some form of splash on the special teams. A fumble, a block kick, a blocked punt. You want to cash or trash that?
I'm going to cash that one in. I love special teams.
I'm really feeling Miles Killebrew up the middle on a punt this week. I don't know why. That's why I had to bring it in there so I could mention it. Now let's get to our closing thoughts on what we expect to see when the Steelers take on the Browns, and we'll start it with Laskers.
Hopefully we can figure out how to beat the Browns because they are not that good, and if we lose to them, we're not that good.
Gingy, before I flip it to you for your final thoughts, a special cash or trash for you. Shedeur Sanders makes his first NFL quarterback snap this week?
No, not this week.
Show us what are we looking for then?
All right, we're looking to see Steelers dominating up front. We're looking to see some points, and maybe some unconventional Steeler football, big plays. Right, the Browns they're going to be the ones with the drives that don't turn into points. The Steelers are going to be scoring points big. It's going to be started off the running game. Jalen Warren's going to be fresh. Everyone's going to be fresh, and we're going to be able to neutralize Myles Garrett up front as best as anyone neutralizes him. Right, that's what I'm looking to see. I'm looking to see a relatively high scoring game. Give me. Are we doing that yet?
No, not predictions yet. Just what you're looking for on it. He did a great job breaking it down. I'm very much on board with you, dude. When I look at this game, where the Steelers are strong, the Browns are weak, we should be able to exploit that. We should be able to take control, really put a stomp on the division, and really start putting pressure on Baltimore that they can't afford to drop any more games. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a dominant performance, something we haven't seen in Pittsburgh. And I think it's going to be a dominant performance because we're going to stop with this BS of we do what we do, we don't coach to the other team. I really feel like, at least on offense, we're going to coach to make sure Myles Garrett doesn't get in the game. And when he doesn't, I really feel we'll take advantage, especially with the Browns having a depleted secondary. I know the guy they just brought in, but I expect to see some communication problems from the Browns with all these new players rotating in or out. Maybe struggle in the running game, but I expect explosiveness on both offense and defense. Lots of splash, lots of explosion, good things to come. Now let's get to some predictions. We got the injured Baltimore Ravens hosting the LA Rams. Laskers, I like the Rams. Who you got?
Definitely give me the Rams on that one.
Gingy, are you banking on an injury, or are you banking on Cooper Rush being able to save Baltimore like last week?
Give me the Rams.
Oh, we're all on the Rams. Oh, God, that's good for Baltimore. Other game we have is the Bengals starting Joe Burrow going up against Green Bay. Talk of the town, and then couldn't beat Dallas at Dallas. Had to take that tie, the kissing your sister, all that fun stuff. Give me the Packers. Gingy, who'd you like?
Get Packers.
And that leads Laskers to give us, is he putting on the head of cheese or is he going to be eating some
Give me the
Skyline chili?
Bengals. Even if Burrow doesn't play, give me the Bengals.
There is no Burrow. He's out for 3 months. It's Joe Flacco starting.
Yeah,
Joe Flacco's old butt starting. You don't think Micah Parsons is going to kill poor Flacco behind that offensive line?
I don't know. I watched that Packers game. It wasn't that great.
They had a decent pass rush, at least. I mean, Dak can move a little. I wouldn't be surprised if Micah Parsons comes away with like 4 sacks with the way Joe Flacco moves, man.
I think Flacco's gonna show up with his new team. That's why I'm picking. That's why I'm picking the Bengals.
I can respect that.
And before you confuse me when you said Burrow, I was already going with the Bengals.
That's a fair thing to say. We got Cleveland coming to Pittsburgh. They haven't won a regular season game since 2003 here. And Gingy, it doesn't happen this week. The Steelers win this game 35-20 with an X factor. I'm going to be honest here. It has got to be the offensive line shutting down Myles Garrett. 1 sack or less, no disruptions in the run game. The offensive line, and probably Darnell Washington, shut down Myles Garrett. That's my X factor. Laskers, what you feeling?
I'm feeling 28-25 Pittsburgh with Deshaun Elliott getting 1 pick, assuming he plays.
Well, let's hope he doesn't fall off the bus and get hurt, Laskers. You better not have just, reverse jinxed him. Gingy, how you feeling?
Give me the Steelers this week in a division rivalry. It's going to be explosions on offense. We're going to see explosive plays from Jaylen Warren. We're going to see some explosive plays from Metcalf. Give me an explosive play from Freiermuth. He needs to earn one back.
He needs to earn his keep.
Yeah,
he needs to stay his butt on the bench.
Something in the red zone. Let's have him contribute there, and let's see a 31-17 Steelers victory. Nice and clean, okay. Boys. No injuries, no problems.
All right,
no
that means
swinging.
We get to the point of the, talking here that we have to give a shout out. Any specific shout out that you want to give this week, Laskers?
Mine's going to be baseball. Thank you, God, for Blue Jays for beating the Yankees.
Did you see the meme of that shirt that's like a BJ is better than a Yank? Dude,
I did not see that, but I want to see that.
I was ruffling for a long butt time when I saw that. That shit was funny. Gingy, any shout outs?
And shout out a 40-40 tie.
Dude, a tie that was actually entertaining. An entertaining tie. That has to be something to say.
Yep.
My shout out for this week has to be, dude, Baker Mayfield, 4 fourth quarter comebacks already this year. I got to give a shout out to that man for the way he is playing football. It is ridiculous. Also, slight shout out to, I believe it was last Thursday night game, Mac Jones out there trying to resurrect his career in San Fran. What a different world we might be in if the Niners had actually drafted Mac Jones instead of Trey Lance like everyone thought they would way back in the day. That's just a little food for thought for everybody out there to end it on. That's how I will let you know. I'm the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey at Twitch, Twitter, your daily dose of Donkey. Ginger's an awesome YouTube channel where you get this sweet content. We'll be sure to keep it coming. We'll be sure to keep it awesome. Tune in for a Bug Cap next week. Me and Bug have figured out the time frame, so they will be starting. Power rankings coming soon too. Laskers, Gingy, get ready for your homework. And Laskers, let them know.
Laskers everywhere. If you can't find me, well, then too bad. Gingy to you.
Mutant Gingy in the house. We hanging out. We talking football. We're getting ready. We're coming off a bye week. We're fresh people. All right. Get your towels out. Make sure everyone's ready. Gonna be AFC North football. Here we go, Steelers. Wave them if you got them.